Hello, welcome to Jenny's Food Network. Today I'm going to show you how to make beef and broccoli stir fry, okay? And also I had prepared some one whole red bell peppers. No. Chopped one whole bell peppers, some shredded carrots. I'm not going to use all of these. I'm just going to use it part of to make it a little more colorful at the end. And here's some minced chopped garlic and ginger. And here's 2 quart size of chopped fresh broccoli. I like to make mine a little smaller because I have kids, you know, so some restaurants make it like 4 times bigger than this. Alright, and here's some beef slices right here for stir fry. So I have already pre-cut, sliced everything, and you'll need some cornstarch as well, and a little bit of filtered water. Okay, so here's my famous brown sauce. I do have some secret sauce in here that I will not tell you, but that's part of you being creative, okay? But I'll tell you the basic ingredients are oyster sauce, soy sauce, teriyaki sauce, brown sugar, fresh chopped minced garlic and ginger, and some lemongrass as well. A lot of good yummy stuff, and some other secret sauces. That's part of being creative, so you could add some more stuff in there if you like. Okay, stirring that sauce. I'm gonna put about 2 scoops, 3, 4, about 4 tablespoons in here for now. As I cook, I could always add more later, okay? So I'm gonna take that back out. So I'm gonna go ahead and stir this up. I'm going to marinate the meat. Okay, here you have it. Now that I had mixed the sauce in with the meat, I'm going to go ahead and add some cornstarch. The cornstarch it's going to, make sure you mix I'm going to use 1 tablespoon here, and 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, 3 tablespoons cornstarch. What the cornstarch does, if you marinate your meat, okay, and if you add cornstarch in right away, and you mix it up real good, what the cornstarch does is, by the way, cornstarch is gluten-free. People who cannot eat gluten, cornstarch will work. So don't use white flour, okay? Because white flour has wheat in it. So you want gluten-free cooking, so use cornstarch, okay? Just word of advice. So I'm gonna mix that up. So when you do cook the beef, it'll give you like a really nice brown coating on it, okay? It's going to cook real nicely with a little bit of oil in your pan. You'll see. And it helps keep the marinade on the meat better, because if you don't put cornstarch, over time when it's being marinated overnight or as you stir it, the sauces are going to sink to the bottom, okay? But if you add some cornstarch in it, it's going to thicken up the sauce. It's going to give a better coating and thickness of sauce onto your meat. So then it'll be more evenly coated. It's still a little watery, so I'm going to go ahead and add another 2 scoops. Be creative and don't be scared to cook, and just, you know, learn as you go. I'm always cooking different portions, so I don't really go by exact measurements. I just go with the flow and just cook as I go and accommodate for what is necessary in my eye. Now I'm starting to thicken up more. The way I home cook at home takes a lot of time. Restaurants will not put this type of time into their food to cook at a very fast speed customer service. But I'm home cooking this, so I'm putting a lot of love and time into my food. Okay, now it's getting thicker and it's getting a little hard to stir. So that's a great thickness right there. Getting the marinade sauce clinging on to the meat. So when you cook it, it won't be as wet and too saucy. It'll just be more clingy and more gravy-like. You could even put the meat in first, then put the cornstarch later, but the problem with that is if you put cornstarch dry in this type of quality right into a hot pan, it'll clump up. So you don't want to ever put cornstarch directly into hot water or hot heat. It'll clump up like dough, okay? It's gonna be gross. So you have to have it with something chilled, like a cold sauce, and it'll mix better. It'll look like white milk. If you want to put the meat in first in the pan and cook it, and you want to put the cornstarch later, you have to mix cornstarch with a little bit of water, enough to stir it, and then you put it in little at a time, and it'll thicken up your beef meat, which is going to be very watery, and it'll thicken up the flavor of the sauce. It'll be more gravier instead of watery. Okay, so I'm pretty satisfied it being mixed in pretty good already. So we're going to go ahead. When I cook, I always cook simultaneously with other stuff. So my rice here that I was showing you how to prepare rice. Oops. Okay, it has about 3 minutes left and it's done. Then it'll be cooked for 30 minutes. You see how the rice had floated up and it's gotten bigger? So it's almost done. Poofs up. Okay. Now we're coming down to my wok here, my favorite wok, my non-stick pan wok. Okay, we're going to use some olive oil. I'm going to use about, let's see. Oh yeah, so we're going to cook the garlic and ginger first, okay? It's going to give that nice, beautiful aroma to it. So I'm going to give about, okay, right there, it's about 1 tablespoon, okay, of olive oil. And then just mix it around a little bit, then turn the heat on. Freddie always damages my pans when he like turns the heat on and he doesn't put oil in it and it dries out. I always have to yell at him for that. Okay, so here we go. I'm turning it on medium-high right now to heat up the oil. I'm going to use my favorite spatula, the silicone. Very awesome for any type of pan, and it won't damage the nonstick or scratch your pans. Here I have my favorite minced garlic and ginger, all nice and minced, finely chopped. It doesn't have to be perfect. Some people might chop it more fine than this, but this is fine. Just enough so it spreads evenly as you take each bite of food. Garlic and ginger is very good for your blood, very good for sinus congestion, very good for you when you're sick. Builds up your immune system a lot, so that's why I love garlic and ginger, and my kids and husband love it as well in the food. Gives it a very nice aroma to it, nice smell, nice taste. Give it a little zesty, zing, spicy taste to it. So if you want to test to see if it's ready, so it's at medium-high right now, okay? I'm going to zoom up so you could get a nice view. Here we go. If you want to test it, put in a piece. And when you start seeing it sizzling, it's pretty much ready. Don't wait for it to get too hot because it's going to pop everywhere. It's going to start popping everywhere if you put it too high or you wait too long for it to heat. I can already smell the aroma. You can hear it sizzling. This will give a very nice aroma to your food and flavor. So I'm going to turn it down a bit because it's starting to pop around. You don't want the oil to pop on your skin too much, so you don't put it on too high because it'll just pop crazy everywhere. So I'm putting it down to medium-low right now to really cook that. Because ginger and garlic are very strong. If you ever eat it raw, oh my gosh, it'll like totally burn your mouth. So I'm going to put it back up to medium-high again. Alright, my rice is done cooking. The alarm had just gone off. So right here you have it. My white jasmine rice. Like I said, I'm always simultaneously cooking a variety of stuff at once. Some people can't do that, but it takes time to get used to it if you do want to cook several things at a time. Okay, 30-minute timer is up. Okay, so I'm going to turn off the heat. So this is 30 minutes of white jasmine rice being cooked. Look how beautiful that looks. Nice and yummy. Every time anyone comes over for lunch or dinner, they always tell me how much they love the way I cook my jasmine rice. Nice, soft, not too soggy, not too dry, just the exact perfect texture of the perfect jasmine rice. It's delicious. We're gonna have that later served with the beef and broccoli, which is gonna made into like a mixed veggie dish because I like to have some more color, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, so back to the garlic and ginger. All right, it's starting to brown a little more now.